Zub not on the ice.
Yeah, just a minor thing happened. Just working out this morning, kind of tightened up. So we expect him back 100% tomorrow, but we'll see.
Okay, Ridley Gregg.
Ridley skated on his own today. I believe he's getting close to being cleared.
Okay, and any update on Cam?
On who's? Oh, Cam. Yeah, no, he's still 4 weeks away, or whatever that is. So he won't be out. He won't be playing anytime soon.
Have you given any consideration to Anton sort of running the table for the month of October with the schedule the way it is?
For sure. Obviously, depending on how he's playing and how he feels. But there's no back-to-backs. So, if he's not overly fatigued, I don't see why not.
What's that like for you to be able to, as a coach, pull a player at the end of practice and kind of tell him, hey, you're with us for the year?
Well, I think it's good because Brass is in a completely different spot in his career, and he's been the big dog around here, and he, wanted to come back here and only here, and he wanted to be a part of here, and there was no guarantee on a PTO that he would get signed, and I think his game continuously got better, and it became obvious to us that as a 13th or 14th guy up front, he's very useful, whether it be a bottom guy on a penalty kill or face-offs, or being able to play on the power play with the talent. He still has tons of ability and great hockey sense.
He's 13th or 14th guy, so if he's the odd man out on a given night,
yeah, and that's something we talked about. That's not an easy thing to do for players that are established guys in the league, and that was part of it when he came here, is that you might not be an everyday player, and he's fine with it. He's fine with working and doing what he has to do to be ready. We know he can play center or wing, a lot of versatility, and it allows these young guys down there, if we do run into injury, to stay there and develop properly.
He was wearing a red jersey at some point, a black or white jersey defense. Is this something that he needs to get ready for?
No. It just, with the last minute with Zuby, we had 60. Typically, we'd have 7 or 8, and the drills all flow together. And with 6, it made it real hard. So him and Gamby, we just made them 7 and 8. But no, the odd time maybe in a morning skate, but I don't expect that to happen very often.
But I meant like general terms, be ready for anything.
Be ready for anything. Could you one night play on the top line on right wing, and the next night fourth line center, and then next night you're not playing? And we've talked about all these scenarios, and he's committed to give us everything he has.
As a coach, you probably have tough conversations. A lot of them at this time of year, you're sending guys down, you're demoting them. So doing the opposite though with Derek must be really satisfying for you.
For sure it is. That's why you coach. And when I started coaching, it was 20 years ago. You want to coach to help kids get better. And one of the greatest satisfactions in junior is watching a kid get drafted, watching a kid get signed. One of the greatest satisfactions in the NHL, now I think it's my 8th year here, is watching a guy called up for the first time, watching a guy play in his first game, watching a guy sign his first contract, and then you get a scenario like this where he thought he might have been out of the league, and here he is, put the work in, and he's back. So those are the good times. The bad times are when you have to give the bad news.
Is your opening night lineup for Thursday in Buffalo set in stone right now in your mind?
In my mind, yes.
What's been the biggest surprise at camp for
you? I think going into camp, I was cautiously optimistic about where Pintz would be with his development after a year off. I think he's jumped right back into where we had him a year ago. We knew it was a huge loss to us. Obviously, Kostelic, his skating, his physicality, the way he's come around, from 2 years ago, the amount of work he's putting in on his skating in the summer and his fitness to get quicker and work on his hands and all these things, it's great to see. He's the first guy in the gym. We're going to have to lock the door eventually. The story is Rod Brindamore. They had to lock the door when he played back in the day because he trained so hard. That's Casty. And on an off day, he would stay here all day. And here's a kid that's just hungry to be in the NHL, and it's glad to see that he's here.
Going into the first game of the season, what's your expectation for the team this year?
Well, we've talked about. It's no secret. Everyone knows that we have to take a step here, but that's easier said than done. Every single team, outside of a few that have tried to maybe bottom out and is in a complete rebuild, everyone's looking to take a step. So there's no easy games. We start 2 on the road. We've got to be better at home right off the hop. Where we haven't been in the past. we've got enough depth, and we've got to play together. Well, you've got to play good if you want to win in this league. Doesn't matter how good you are, you got to play good.
Did you see enough out of your defense here? You're comfortable with what you've got here to start the year? There were some question marks before training camp started.
Yeah, I think this is the 7 that we had, in July. I don't think, and we're going to start this way, and we'll see how everything shapes out. The NHL day to day, things change quickly, and but this is the 7 we started that we would have had in mind, and this is the 7 that's here now.
What would you like to accomplish in Tremblant in the next 48 hours?
I think just the guys. I think we're a pretty close group as it is. I just think being able to turn your mind off of hockey for a minute before you got to really ramp it up. And when we hit that ice practicing on Wednesday, that's our last practice before we go, and now it's go time. And there's a lot of mental stress and things that go with it for players, whether it be in and out of the lineup, whether it be up or down, or whether it be one of the guys that's in the top slots that want to live up to their potential. Everyone has their own stresses, and an ability to turn that stress off for one day before the year, I think, is real good for our hockey team.
Yeah, it's also in Norris interchange, I guess, again. Is that something you're going to do most of the year?
Yeah, I don't know what I just thought that Norris, DeBrincat, and Giroux look good together. And I think in the summer we tinkered about what we would do. We knew at some point we would make some changes. How soon, we didn't know. But Timmy's played with Brady and Drake before, and Norris seems to fit with them a little bit better right now.
And EJ, we wanted to firm up on Greg, right?
Oh, Ridley? Suspension. Yeah, Ridley has served a suspension from the exhibition game. So that is officially in the books, and he's able, at any time to play for us.